Alright, this is Unit 5, Video 1, Graphing Systems. So a system is basically two equations, okay, that are graphed together, and the solution is where they meet. Okay, so for example, this is two lines. We've graphed lines before, so this is two lines, and then they meet right there, and that's the solution. Okay, so that's one solution. This is about, I would say, about, I don't know, 90% of all of our problems have one solution. Okay? Then there's exceptions, okay? And then an exception would be a no solution, which is when you graph your two lines and they never meet, okay? And that would be an example of parallel lines. Parallel lines don't meet, so there's no solution, because again, the solution is where they meet. Okay? And then infinitely many solutions is when you graph the two lines and they graph over each other. You can see the two arrows. So this is the blue line and the red line graphed over them. Okay, and they're the exact same line. So this is what we would call an infinitely many solutions. Okay, and it's the same equation. Okay. All right, so on this one, okay, what is the solution to the system? So again, we have two lines here. Okay, we have this line here, and then we have this line. Okay, where they meet is the solution. Okay, and again, graphing is just one way to solve these. So the solution to this problem is 1, 1. Okay, it's where they meet. Another question is, we have this one. We have negative 8x plus 10y equals negative 30, and then 4x minus 3y equals 1. And we want to know if negative 5, 7 is a solution. Okay. Well, these aren't really in graphing form. Okay. So we don't want to graph these because these are in standard form. Okay. And then they're going to end up with decimals. Okay, so what we're going to do is, in order to find out if this is a solution, remember this is your x and this is your y, we're going to plug in x and y. Okay, so you have to do both equations. So I'm going to go negative 8, and instead of that x, I'm going to put my x value, which is negative 5, plus 10, and instead of y, I'm going to put 7. And I want to know if that's going to equal negative 30. Okay, so we have negative 8 times 5 is 40, plus 10 times 7 is 70. Okay. And then that equals 110, which does not equal negative 30. So this is not a solution. Okay. Now let's say it did equal. Let's say we did all this work and it was negative 30 equals negative 30. We would then have to substitute the numbers into the other equation and see if it were a solution. And if that came out true, then it is a solution. But once we have a no solution where they're not equal, then we know the answer is no. All right, let's practice graphing. Okay, so we have two equations, so I'm going to do this one. We got m equals 1/2 and b equals 3. So my y-intercept is 3 and my up 1 over 2. Okay, now a couple things on systems. You need to make sure your line goes across your graph because we want to know if they meet. And what happens is if we draw a little line here, and then we just do this, and what if our other line is this way? Okay, they're never going to meet on our graph, but if they extend, they do meet. Okay, so make sure you draw your first line across your graph. Your second line is not as picky, but make sure your first line is drawn across the graph. So let me redo that. So we got 1 over 2. Okay, now I'm going to draw the second one. So m is negative 1 over 1, and my b is negative 3. So negative 3. And now remember, down 1 over 1. Okay, now I don't need to go that way because if I keep going down and to the right, they're never going to meet. So I'm going to go up and to the left. Okay, once the lines meet, you can stop drawing your line. Okay, and this is where they meet. So it's not enough to show that, but the answer again is where they meet. So that's negative 1, 2, 3, let me show this. So you're here, so it's negative 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1. So my solution is negative 4, 1. Okay, if I plug those in, that's where they'll meet. All right, last one. Okay, so m equals 2/3, b equals negative 2. Okay, so up 2 over 3. All right. Now my next one. M equals 2/3, and my b is 1. And then up 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. All right. All right, these lines, where do they meet? They don't meet, and nor will they ever meet. So this is a no solution. These are parallel lines. Okay, and on the first page, it gave you a hint. If you look, our slopes are the same, but our y-intercepts, so slopes are the same, y-intercepts are different. So that tells you they're going to be parallel lines.